Hello and welcome back, YouTube, to my channel as an aggregator here. Today we're checking out a YouTube search journey for an interesting topic I stumbled upon in Google Trends called Velvet Sundown. Now this, I literally have no idea going into this, except that it's apparently an AI generated music album or topic or band that has risen to the charts, but it's AI generated, so people are having mixed opinions. Okay, well, let's jump in. So we're starting with Velvet Sundown, and we're gonna go on a search journey. This is where we already started, so let's pick this up and let's click into this video.
Look at this handsome indie rock band.
Oh, are we jumping right into it already?
Oh yeah, we're
Okay.
it's summer, baby.
Okay. Let's just talk about this fucking stupid, horrible band that some are.
Oh dang, was that in the first 3 minutes?
AI-generated band completely.
Dang. I hear you're not supposed to have curse words within the first 3 minutes of a YouTube video or you'll be demonetized. Oh well. This is a YouTube search journey, so we're going on this journey. Okay, so how do I want to set up this journey? Are we using fib retracements to check this out?
This actually sounds better than that. So I understand. Heard and loved.
This is the first video added to the playlist, so we're
in that mainstream sense, right?
Because it's 2025 that.
So we're trying to get a sense of
non-organic.
And it's gonna get
what this video is about.
Really
They put the Velvet Sundown, so that's an interesting distinction. Indie rock, some of the tabs up. The Velvet, the Proof, Rocket, Dust. Okay, so let's try this. The Velvet Sundown. The Velvet Sundown. Dust to the Wind, bangers only. What's going on here?
The most popular song on Spotify in the UK is by an AI band, The Velvet Sundown.
Dust on the wind, boots on the ground.
AI music on Spotify is nothing new. Spotify actually makes their own, which we'll come on to later. But how did this happen? How did this totally generic sounding band gain over 1 million monthly listeners and trick everyone along the way? The Velvet Sundown first appeared on Spotify in June 2025.
June 2025, so we have a baseline.
Floating on echoes and...
Okay, so let's add this to the playlist. Velvet Sundown. What is Velvet Sundown? Well, I want some shorts too.
And Dust and Silence.
Dust and Silence.
Both albums imitate a gentle 70s acoustic rock sound, which is actually quite pleasant to listen to.
Amber lights in silver haze.
It sounds okay, but it probably isn't what comes to mind when you think of a viral track. At first, their Spotify bio described them as a 4-piece band, but it soon became suspicious that they might not be as authentic as they first appeared. Firstly, the 4 members listed in their bio appear to be a complete mystery. There aren't any photos of them, they have no social media presence, nor do they appear to have ever played a live
Suspicious?
gig. Secondly, the music is completely generic. Titles like Dust on the
That was
Wind
an
and
accident. I
Drifting
didn't mean
on
to
the
click
Flame.
into it. But I was going to go into... So, what are your thoughts on AI-generated music? Is it right if they don't tell you? Or is it better off if they do tell you? Like, for me, I don't mind because it's the sound quality that I think. But I also imagine that there will be a cottage industry of people saying, hey, we want, like, human-generated music from the soul, quote-unquote. And so... from that perspective, there's something about the human essence that you might want to niche down into to get a better mode of representation when you're dealing with things like art. So I guess it remains to be seen. What are your thoughts on AI generated music? Is it something that you throw your hat in with? Like, hey, if the beat hits, then that's all that matters, versus you expecting a little bit something more out of your artists?
are exactly the kind of thing you might come up with if you were just trying to imitate any given acoustic track from the 70s. The songs also seem to offer no innovation sonically. There's nothing interesting or unique about them, and they're all about 3 minutes long. This would all be expected if these songs never escaped the growing pile of AI music. But why did this band make it to the top, eventually passing even real artists? There was clearly something going on here.
Passing even real artists? ...
Beyond just the music. Rival streaming platform Deezer revealed earlier this year that 18% of music uploaded to their platform is fully AI generated. That's over 20,000 tracks a day. And whilst those AI tracks only account for about 0.5% of their total streams, it's estimated that 70% of their streams are coming from bots. Last month, Deezer became the first platform to launch an AI tagging system to let listeners know if a song is AI generated, something their 446 fans on Deezer will be surely disappointed to learn. Over on Spotify, where no such label exists, things were starting to get interesting. The Velvet Sundown continued to grow in popularity, with no way of anyone knowing for certain.
Okay, so he's going through a characterization, and they're doing the play-by. I think they might be doing a play-by-play of the actual music.
A band called the Velvet Sundown is marketing its music with AI-generated pictures of members. Right. I mean, it's like this picture is obviously AI-generated, right?
Yeah. The Don't Appear to Exist is now claiming that we never use AI.
And then they say, absolutely crazy that so-called journalists keep pushing this lazy, baseless theory that the Velvet Sundown is AI-generated with zero evidence. That's very weird to say. There isn't zero evidence.
It's literally an AI.
It's actually non-zero.
It's an AI-generated response using the way that people talk on the internet.
Right. Also, if you're not AI, prove it by posting a video of you guys. Hi, I'm Derek. Hi, I'm Gregor. Hi, I'm Gord.
Not a single one of these writers has reached out, visited a show, or listened beyond the Spotify algorithm. Visited a show? That's a weird turn of phrase.
Visited.
Who visits a show?
No one visits a show.
I don't you go to a show.
That's
visiting a show? Hey, we're gonna visit. Yeah.
Oh, when Trump described AI.
Hey, what's going on?
A bad
visiting.
IQ.
I'm like,
pretty sure it's a low IQ. Or a bad IQ score, I guess, would be the second choice.
Even just hearing that as a sentence grinds my fucking gears.
Is Trump AI?
The High Epic Times. Yo, shout out to this channel. They're diving in deep. Okay, so we're gonna try to figure out a different baseline. We're searching for Velvet Sundown, and we're going on a search journey to find some videos, interesting videos. Let's choose within the last week, or maybe today. Let's see what's going on today. Okay, so
This new AI generated band is called the Velvet Sundown, and they currently have 2 albums out. The first album is called Floating Echoes, and it has 13 songs on it.
Floating Echoes?
Rebel Shout, which is what we're going to take a listen to today. Also has a second album. We're not going to go over it today, but just letting you know that it is out there, and it is called Dust and Silence. So this is a real thing, and it is kind of scary. This new AI generated band is called the Velvet Sundown, and they currently have 2 albums out. The first album is called Floating Echoes, and it has
Floating
13
Echoes
songs on it, starting with Rebel Shout, which is what we're
Rebel Shout. No, I don't think that's what it was in the. I don't think that's the cadence.
So
Dust and Silence.
And it is kind of scary. This new AI.
Okay, so they did a loop.
A successful band called the Velvet Sundown. A successful band called the Velvet Sundown has confirmed to Rolling Stone that they are actually the creation of artificial intelligence.
Whoa!
Kennedy's
Confirmed.
A music maven, a veteran of MTV, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you. It was very brave of me. Thank you.
Yes, spokesperson for the group, which has more than 900,000 monthly Spotify listeners. 900,000 says they're a synthetic music project guided by human creative direction. A successful band called the Velvet Sundown has.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day.
It's played hundreds of thousands of times on Spotify since appearing several weeks ago, without anyone knowing for sure what it is. The band has a verified page on the music streaming platform with more than 850,000 monthly listeners. It's a hit. However, none of the 4 named musicians in the band have given any interviews or appear to have individual social media accounts, and there are no records of any live performances. It has prompted accusations that they and their music are AI generated, something the band denies. Something the band denies on social media.
Yes. But not on camera.
And the band did not respond to the BBC's request for an interview. This is kind of funny. I mean, it's scary, but it's kind of funny at the same time. Further confusing the story, Rolling Stone reported that the band's spokesman had admitted the Velvet Sundown's music had been generated using an AI tool called, care to guess?
Studio or
Suno.
Suno.
They use Suno.
Only for the magazine to report shortly afterwards that the spokesman was himself a hoax.
The spokesman was AI too?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that part.
The man, who goes by the name of Andrew Fralin, said it was a deliberate plot to hoax the media. A statement on the band's Spotify page said that the group has, quote, no affiliation with this individual, nor any evidence confirming their identity or existence, unquote. An account on X, which claims to be the band's official channel, is also fake, it added. Professor Gina Neff from the Minderoo Center for Technology and Democracy, let's go with Minderoo, because that's fun to say, at the University of Cambridge, says it points to a problem which affects much more than just one band. She said, quote, whether this is an AI band may not seem important, but increasingly our collective grip on reality seems shaky. The Velvet Sundown story plays into the fears we have of losing control of AI and shows how important protecting online information is, unquote. The Velvet Sundown's indie ballads with guitar music and male vocals is fairly easy if
Okay, we're gonna take a bit. We're gonna take a bit of a detour. And do a mic check.
Guitar music and male vocals is fairly easy if bland on the ear.
Okay, so we're good on that trope.
Guitar music and male vocals is fairly easy if bland on the ear, with lyrics such as eyes like film in faded light, dreams walk barefoot into the night, ashen velvet, smoke and flame, calling out in freedom's name. It could all feasibly be either AI generated or penned by humans. Yeah.
Do you remember that happened with me recently?
Yes.
An AI band.
An AI band contacted you.
Yeah, well,
or you contacted
I contacted them.
You
actually.
Or.
Okay. It's a little scenic. Velvet boots under mirrored ground. Drums of thunder, distant sound. Sound. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bland, but... Alright, there it is. The world radio premiere of The Velvet Sundown.
Oh boy.
I'm looking at these song titles.
I like the other one better.
I do too. I'm looking at these song titles, and there's titles like Driftwood Soldiers, Where War Remains.
Oh yeah, this is all about dead stuff.
There seems to be a theme.
War. Dead.
Yeah.
Light.
Crimson Parade.
Oh, is that a
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the lyrics about waving flags and
maybe the person
making people pay.
the person created maybe be a veteran.
What?
Or is
Maybe.
it a young, like, who, do we know anything about the creator?
No, we don't know anything about just that they're not real.
And their contact isn't real either, right?
Okay, let's add this to the playlist and move on. Okay, so what's next?
Mga ka-A to Z kakaiba ang istoryang ito. Umamin.
Oh, if only this was English dubbed.
Velvet Sundown.
If the songs were made by AI. In response, a page on X claiming to be the band posted, "Many news outlets are falsely reporting that we are an AI-generated band, and nothing could be further from the truth." This led to even more questions.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out this video
He misspeaks a lot
as
because
placement.
he's like senile.
Monthly listeners on Spotify. Right, and this single is called Dust in the Wind. I mean, come on. Isn't the Kansas song called Dust on the Wind, right?
Yeah. This is the result of AI stealing all of everybody's intellectual property without our consent. This is what we're reaping. And the fact that the band is trying to deny it is literally just like fodder, right?
So
to drum up publicity.
Exactly. This was published 5 days ago by the High Epic Times. They're creating AI industry plants! ! Question mark. Velvet Sundown breakdown.
Yeah. So the Kansas song is Dust in the Wind. Their song is Dust on the Wind.
Yeah. It's so easy. If they weren't AI, then they would come out and say they aren't AI. They wouldn't have any human interaction.
They would make a video. They go live stream.
It's rage bait. Once again, rage bait is the currency
Of now. Yeah, that's right.
And so the reason why they have so many followers is because maybe they're getting added to a playlist, right? Somebody hears it, they go, "Oh, I have no fucking personality or taste of my own. Sick, I'll add it to my fucking thing."
Is that fair though? Is that valid in terms of? Well, I mean, I guess she pointed it out right. Flair or personality, like, hey, yo, like music is such a niche industry that it's like, what does it mean to like good music versus what does it mean to like music versus what does it mean to like anything really, but specifically music versus good music, because you could just, and then there's a chocolate running fast, and then there's the signs of a story, and it's like, yeah, it takes me back to the old times, something like that. And then it's like, but is that good music or is that, and then they're pontificating how it blew up,
right? Somebody hears it, they go, "Oh, I have no fucking personality."
Somebody hears it, and they don't have any personality
taste of my own.
or taste of their own. So it's because it's a triple blind, because it's AI generated, that these attributes are being attributed to it, versus whether or not it actually merits it. So in a previous entry, they did say that it was bland. They said something like, totally bland here. This is the YouTube this is our what is it called? Our playlist. Velvet Sundown. And so we're on the High Epic Times right now. And David Harley made a video here. And so
as to why this mysterious band has suddenly gained so many listeners, and the page continued to post almost comical responses denying it. When it comes to Spotify, AI-generated artists like the Velvet Sundown are actually nothing new. They're called ghost artists.
Ghost artists.
Fake artists that generate AI music, which is much cheaper for Spotify compared to the already low rates they pay real artists. In her book, Mood Machine, journalist Liz Perry found that Spotify actually has a dedicated program to generate these artists, which they call PF.
Okay, so we're gonna rearrange this. We're gonna re-add this to the playlist afterwards. Just because I'm actually a fan of a lot of AI generated stuff, so I feel like for my part, this doesn't showcase the intent of the playlist, even though we do rate them highly in terms of culture commentary. We're gonna rearrange that, and we're gonna get a better sense of what Velvet Sundown is and how it's being reacted to in the interwebs.
Or perfect fit content. The idea is that they can generate songs to fill gaps in playlists, such as deep focus or cocktail jazz. Songs to fill gaps in playlists.
They're filling gaps in playlists? Hashtag as an aggregator.
They can generate songs to fill gaps in playlists, such as deep focus or cocktail jazz. Essentially background music. And because it's background music, you probably wouldn't even notice that it's AI. This is bad enough, but it's even worse considering how strict Spotify is on others being creative with these ideas.
What does that even mean? How strict they're being? Oh, because it's AI generated, the ad revenue is different?
In 2014, Wolfpack uploaded an album of complete silence and encouraged their fans to leave it playing whilst they slept so that they could fund their concert tour.
Spotify pays us a half a cent. So if you were to listen to Sleepify all night on repeat, you'd generate $4.
Spotify pulled the album later that year, claiming an unspecified violation of their policies.
It was removed under the term violation that the artist shan't make money.
10 years later, in 2024, 52-year-old
Damn, that was a great ploy.
was arrested for using AI to generate thousands of songs for his own ghost artists and using bots to listen to them on Spotify. Understandably, this isn't such a good idea. But neither of these are what happened with the Velvet Sundown. This was something new. Unlike the Spotify ghost artists, which are embedded into official Spotify playlists and designed to fill the gaps, the Velvet Sundown was strategically placed into a number of popular user-curated playlists, filled with songs of a similar style. One of these playlists is called Vietnam War Music, which included music from the 60s and 70s, and has been saved over 600,000 times. Another is a playlist called Good Morning, which has been saved over 200,000 times. The Spotify recommendation algorithm was tricked into believing these songs were great, because suddenly the band was getting hundreds of thousands of listeners through these playlists. Presumably hardly anyone listening realized that these songs were made by AI. As is the way with these algorithms, they then grow exponentially. The algorithm detects that the songs are popular, Spotify begins placing these songs into even more playlists, and soon they grow to the point where the band is so popular that people are checking out the artist and everyone begins wondering what's going on. This was made even more confusing by the fact that nobody knew for certain if these songs were made by AI, and so journalists began trying to investigate who was behind this mysterious band. At the end of June, somebody called Andrew Freelon came forward and claimed to be the creator of the Velvet Sundown and their AI music, even giving an interview with Rolling Stone magazine and revealing that he made all the songs using Suno, an AI music generator. But things got even more confusing when the Velvet Sundown then updated their Spotify bio, claiming they'd never even heard of this guy. Andrew Freelon later wrote a blog post admitting that the interview with Rolling Stone was a hoax, and he had nothing to do with the creation of their music. He realized that because the band had no social media presence or history whatsoever, he could just claim to be their creator, and there was no evidence to prove otherwise. Eventually, the band updated their Spotify bio to reveal that, albeit still ambiguously, that they were, as everyone suspected, made by AI. But there's one more question. What does this actually mean for music? For me, I don't think this story is so much about the music. I think it actually says more about Spotify and many of the...
Interesting. So this was the analysis coming up. Thinking that it's about music versus about something else. Okay, so I've literally been here just as long as you understanding this story, and I don't have a lot to speak to it yet. What do we know? We have an AI generated artist called Velvet Sundown that created content that spun into algorithmic distribution, which allowed it to blow up because it filled a niche within a publication window that allowed amplification for unconscious biases in terms of, hey, what am I listening to? Am I listening to a playlist? Hey, am I listening to a user-generated playlist versus an AI-generated playlist? And then carrying that forward. So I guess that's why he says it's more about Spotify. He's going the algorithmic route. Not that this is some breakthrough in music or that it's a... Well, it is a tale of what's possible. But let's continue to see what he has to say.
The other streaming platforms. Spotify isn't a musical arts gallery, it's an entertainment service. Their job is to keep
a musical arts gallery, nice.
Paying the subscription every month. And there's no reason why human artistry or creativity is a component that needs to be a part of that. Last week, Hank Green put out an excellent video about how in the last 100 years, food and information have gone from scarcity to excess. And the same thing has happened with music.
And now we're in a society where companies compete to create the most delightful and engaging and inexpensive food possible, which, it turns out, is way better for you than malnutrition, but also creates other problems.
And to some extent that's fine, because we need food and we don't want people starving. But the downside is we now have a world where junk food...
Does that analogy apply the same for music?
Food and junk information is designed to hack our brains. Here's the key thing. Like food and information, I think we need music. You may have heard the quote attributed to Duke Ellington. There are simply two kinds of music, good music and bad music. As Hank Green also points out, as much as we like to think we have agency over our consumption, we as a society smoke cigarettes, eat junk food, scroll social media. Why should we think that when Spotify starts promoting bad music, we'll have the agency to ignore it? I think, unfortunately, we should be ready for a lot more AI music in the future.
Okay, yeah, we definitely should get ready for more AI-generated music in the future. Okay, so let's dip back into... What was this?
Mga ka-A to Z, kakaiba ang istoryang ito. Umamin ang indie rock band na Velvet Sundown na isang AI-generated music project lamang sila matapos ang mga espekulasyong peke ang grupo. Aabot sa 1 milyon ang monthly listeners ng naturang banda sa Spotify. Pero sa updated profile nito, nilinaw nila na ang lahat ng kanta, lahat ng bida at lyrics ay gawa ng computer via artificial intelligence. Hinala naman ng marami mukhang peke rin ng mga larawang ipinost sa kanilang social media. Kaya muling babala ng mga eksperto, patuloy na nabubura ang linya ng katotohanan at peke sa tulong ng AI tools. Ayon sa isang global study, posibleng bumaba ng higit 20% ang kita ng mga tunay na artista sa susunod na 4 na taon dahil sa dumaraming AI generated.
That's kind of funny, Loki. Okay, where are we at with this? Foreign language content. Next. Oh, not really clutch. Whoa, the Velvet Sundown, honoring Vietnam veterans through musical artistry. Interesting. In the Velvet Sundown, honoring Vietnam veterans through musical artistry. We embark on a heartfelt journey celebrating the bravery and sacrifice of those who served in Vietnam. This video features a captivating blend of music and storytelling, showcasing original compositions that pay tribute to the resilience and spirit of veterans. Join us as we explore the profound impact of their experiences, fostering understanding and appreciation through the universal language of music. Let's honor their legacy together.
The rain don't fall, sneaks up slow, soaks my shirt, then lets me go.
Yeah, this is so... do you not feel that? Yeah. It took it to a different level. It took it to a different level. We were deep in the AI criticism, and then we had a technical analysis, and then we...
Dick, I'll add it to my fucking thing. I found a cool new band.
May I ask a question? Is there any way you could add that band to your playlist and not be an idiot? Totally legit.
Hey! What if they were honoring Vietnam veterans? LOL.
I'm not being facetious in any way. That's like an earnest question.
I don't think it's being an idiot. It's a matter of taste. You don't have enough fucking discernment. It doesn't make you an
Yeah,
idiot.
I mean, would I add this to my playlist as a non-music person?
Not because here's the thing.
Right. Okay.
It's like saying like, are you a miscreant because you could fuck a sex doll?
There's going to be a lot more fucking sex dolls
happening
in the next very, very soon.
It's the same reason why people
The
like
power of
using
AI
sex-
generated
it's the same
smut?
reason why people would rather do an automated pay your bill online versus like call
Because it's easier and there's less
interaction.
Less interaction, but less barrier.
Yeah.
Right? Less resistance, if you will, to getting the job done.
Yeah, and you're not having to experience any real interaction with a human that may be friction, right?
Friction, that was the word I was,
because
friction, yeah.
you, once again, you don't know the words to put into your Google search to get the right answer. I'm also finding that when it comes to interactions,
I was just going to say, yeah, exactly.
when even on the other side, when I'm like
dealing interpersonally, knowing how to,
people do no longer know how to word what they want out of like a conversation, right? And it sometimes it goes on the other end too, because a person is using a script, and I'm like, I wish there was a way to be like, okay, opt out of explaining everything to me in a very slow, very spaced out tone. You're at work, but I'm like, actually, let me tell you exactly what I need done and how we can get it done more efficiently, instead of being like, would you like option A? This is this and this. Option B. I already know C. We just need let's skip to C.
Yeah.
We are stripping the context away from this music.
That was a good segue back to the article.
Yeah, we're stripping the context.
Stripping the
away, because
context.
What is this? It's taking every other band that we've heard and loved and stripping them of the context and the time period and the meaning behind the lyrics and rehash.
Okay, let's peep again.
It's quiet till the moon comes out, and it's noise and fire and a radio shout. But I found your picture in my pocket today, folded and bent, but it ain't gone away. Smoke over Sunday, sky full of flame. Still I see your dress and remember your name. Boys play poker, the gunships fly low, but I drift back to where the fireflies glow. Don't know when, but I'll find that train. Leave this heat.
Yeah, this is really, because it's the AI generated angle, and then it's also the activism angle. Can I say activism if we're talking about honoring Vietnam veterans through musical artistry? Like in the previous entry they said, yeah, a lot of war thunder. Where was this? I think it was this one. Matt Canarton Unleashed, Velvet Sundown, where they talk about what was going on with the AI in the artistry. Oh man, yeah, we're gonna add this to a playlist. Yeah, wow, that was, I wasn't really expecting that. What is this, 16? Got a little beat there,
Allora, buongiorno a tutti carissimi, sempre qui quasi in diretta dal Parco della Caffarella di Roma. È il punto della situazione. Quello.
Can we get this in?
Allora.
Can we get auto dubbed?
Buongiorno a tutti carissimi, sempre qui quasi in diretta dal Parco della Caffarella di Roma. Sono le 11:30 di mattina di giovedì 10 luglio, giornata ancora abbastanza fredda. Ascoltare non interamente,
Not entirely, to a few scattered tracks from one of these phantom groups that suddenly appeared on Spotify with great display of, let's say, algorithmic pumping.
ovvero i Velvet Sundown, che appunto è un gruppo che non esiste, è un bluff, ed è tutto generato con l'intelligenza.
This situation is really worrying, Leo. We're in a bad way. The songs are truly, the songs are shocking, truly speechless. I just re-listened to Reeking, Painted, and Stuttering 2007 by Gnaw Their Tongues. That's disturbing, but in a good way. Just to clarify, let's stay away from the garbage, Leo. Calling it music already seems excessive to me. Lost. If this Velvet Sundown rehearsal were the dress rehearsal, the few of us left should reunite in the Carbone uprisings of the Risorgimento. Imagine an AI-generated Gnaw Their Tongues. Would it have the same effect on you? I fear we're rapidly approaching the point of nadir of no return. After lunch, I'll listen to Luigi Nono, La Fabrique, Illuminata again. I'm keeping myself away from such bad thoughts. Bye, Lost. See you soon. Ciao, Leo. You know what would be more disappointing? To think that some 50-year-old could believe in the existence of this AI group. Since it's doing well on Spotify, I think they'll pump it up a lot. Okay, now I gotta listen to what this, but we gotta speed it up a little bit. 3 pieces. They made 3 albums, one every 2 weeks. Doesn't take too long to make them. Between June of this year and now, so the space of a month, they've made 3 albums. And the typical 70s style. They say Psycho is actually American Air from that period. So Journey, Warrior, Boston. For those of you unfamiliar with my work, I am Michael T, also known as an Aggregator. What we're doing here is going through a search journey for the Velvet Sundown. And we're checking it out just to find some interesting content on this emerging AI developing story. And right now we're in YouTube, going on a search journey. This is from today, videos. Sorted by upload date, and we're all the way down here listening to an Italian translated aspect of culture commentary from Leonardo Pippo Calippo. Something from Kansas, maybe. Too progressive? Wait. 70s style, they say is actually American air from that period. So Journey, Fourier, Boston, or something from Kansas. Maybe Kansas were too progressive. Rio Speedwagon, and then something from Toto too. Everything just the maximum of the 70s stereotype from the commercial radio put there. The thing that I can say, I noticed too, that the ears seemed artificial to me. I wonder if he's talking about, especially the drums. Okay, so he is talking about the music itself. Say having to read it's a band, a troll band. So their guitar solos, you can hear that in the guitar solos. They don't sound natural. Okay. What's the underlying problem? Which is a good prank. You can have fun with it. The problem is that people who listen to them is that 1 million people a month. I even imagine quite young people who use these things apart from streaming. But this stuff produced like this, they think this stuff is real. And even if it's not real, it's good. Artistic judgment, and it really sucks. Well, musically it sucks, and the programmers, oh my gosh, now I'm getting existential angst, or no, listen, first and foremost, I'm a non-music person, okay? I'm a non-music person, so I'm not gonna be here just hitting it back with you, talking about, oh, okay, this specific piece of content is like that. I'm not gonna be able to hit you with that in order to let you know some next level bit of culture commentary related to music. But I found it moving a little bit. It's like, so when I feel that, I'm like, oh, let's go back to listening to this. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Journalists, they say in our investigation we found no evidence that any of its purported members actually exist. The band's Instagram page is chock full of images that are clearly AI generated. Yeah, saying they never use AI is misleading at best. That's right. Yeah. As Stereogun points out, there's a highly suspicious they are deploying highly suspicious sentence structure in their bio that hits at possible use of an AI text generator. No kidding. Velvet Sundown aren't trying to revive the past, the blurb reads. They're rewriting it. They sound like the memory of a time that never actually happened, but somehow they make it feel real. No, they don't.
No, you don't.
The Velvet Sundown, a name that appears to be a lazy portmanteau. How do you say that?
Portmanteau?
Portmanteau.
Portmanteau. I think I've heard that phrase before.
I know what it means. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Portmanteau?
I'm like, I want to know how to say it right.
Yeah.
And everybody on the show we're all gonna, you know what? This is the only time that AI is helpful, right?
Yeah, do it.
That way we can actually learn something. How are we supposed to pronounce this word?
Portmanteau? Portmanteau.
Portmanteau.
All right. So they're saying, this journalist is saying that the Velvet Sundown is a lazy portmanteau of the legendary psych rock band The Velvet Underground and Montreal indie outfit Sunset Rubdown. What about Velvet Revolver?
Also that. Also for the
Which is another lazy ripoff of Velvet Underground and the album Revolver.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure about Sunset Rubdown is a little bit of a stretch.
I get it though, because it's like a...
Down is the only word in common.
Well, in the sun.
Oh, in sun, you're right, okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
A portmanteau, a word blending the sounds and combining the meanings of the two others. For example, motel from motor and hotel, brunch from breakfast and lunch.
This is not a joke. This is our music written in long, sweaty nights in a cramped bungalow in California with real instruments, real minds, and real soul. Every chord, every lyric, every mistake, human. The tweet reads. Okay, then show your faces and speak to a camera. Wouldn't that put all this to rest?
This is AI trolling. This is AI. AI is trolling us.
Just because we don't do TikTok dances or live stream or process doesn't mean we're fake. The fact that some blog editors would rather pretend we're a bunch of machines that emit an unknown band is out here grinding blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Chop chop chop. Okay, let's move on to the fact that it might be one the lowest rated album on Rate Your Music, or like top.
Wow.
It's definitely in the top 100 of all time. Most poorly
Because it's just not real.
rated albums of all time.
I like that somebody still rated it though. I like that. How many ratings do we have here?
I'm gonna show you.
I see 7 reviews.
This is a positive, 5 stars, and they said pretty original, which feels like an AI generated review.
Yeah.
I love why.
Why?
God, who'd want to be such an asshole? It's a good one. I don't know what this means in Vietnamese, but it's probably me, considering it got a half star.
Hell yeah.
Sure, maybe they tried something more accessible to all tastes as a start, like Manskin did here in Italy, who did fake 70s rocker, who remakes 70s stuff or reposting it. As new generations take the bait and think that this stuff is innovative or at least fresh stuff. Okay, so we're adding this to our playlist. Italian culture commentary. Yeah, as an aggregator, I haven't figured out a mode of operation specifically when it comes to adding or thinking about adding foreign language content. Like, normally I prefer it to be dubbed, but I guess in this context, as YouTube's rolling out its algorithmic generation features, along with advancements in AI and machine learning, we might be able to get more AI dubs for videos under 20 minutes. Food for thought. Well, what scares me a little in general is what this means for me, and here perhaps I'm making a speech that seems a bit like an old fart. It's a bit like the death of creativity. It's the death of creativity. Why? Because I can say it while having not always, because I always repeat the same story. Having fully lived through the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s and 2010s, and now in the 2020s. And I've seen the birth and growth of stuff like Sonic Cute, Unsert, Death Kennedy, Black Flag, Minuteman, Big Black Echo, Squirrel Bait replacements, and all the post-rock Slint, Lizard, Juno 44, Tortoise, Fetus. And we go up to now, and you know, Drink Pusher, Backwall. Okay, so he's listing a lot of things that I would have nothing. Leave a comment in the comments section if you know what the music he's citing. Again, this is an Italian speaker.
Insomma, è una cosa che io trovo dannosa perché le nuove generazioni già ascoltano musica abbastanza
Says finding it harmful. In short, it's something that I find and continue to find harmful. I find it damaging because the new generations already listen to quite depressing music, but not depressing because it's emo and dark. Maybe they would listen to some depressing dark music because of the squalor of what they listen to, even thinking they're good, listening to good music. This is the beauty of it, the values that are also questionable from an ethical and moral point of view. Imagine all Italian trappers, but especially Italians, in short, who push hedonic, distorted, homophobic, fascist, in short, racist values and whatever it is, because that's how it is. Kids imitating their idols do something because of it's what they see on Instagram, on TikTok, acting like kings and selfies, post with guns, cemeteries, whatever, knives, pocket knives, and hopefully fake guns. But it's not a good example, eh? $50 banknotes used as fans, Rolex watches. Okay. The culture of decadence, the decadent veil. cultural slippage as it bleeds into other cultures from the English, from the Americas.
Perché sì, si è toccato adesso proprio il fondo del barile. Adesso io in genere non faccio mai discorsi moralisti, però qua mi tocca tanto, perché effettivamente non la vedo. Cioè, ha detto bene Rick Rubin, che è un grande produttore rock e anche hip hop, ha detto noi con gli artisti sappiamo con che fare perché ci interessava il loro punto di vista e la loro creatività. Avere a che fare con l'intelligenza artificiale.
Okay. He's making a moralistic speech. And then he says, I mean, Rick Robin, who's great hip-hop producer, was right when he said we knew what to do with the artists because we were interested in their point of view and their creativity. Dealing with artificial intelligence, and that's the problem. You don't know the point. It doesn't have the point of view, and it doesn't have creativity. It's all programmed like this. Back and forth. What about what you want? I mean, I play Mozart, and they'll play Mozart for you, but it's exactly what it doesn't have Mozart's creativity. Mozart-esque. These Sundowns. I need some of these people to get hands-on with Suno and actually play around with it and actually start making music that they love in Suno. Is that even possible? Can they make music that they love in Suno? And would that change their ability to be willing to go out and find music created by real people organically versus having a best of people coming together and trying to make their best organic music in an artificial generated mashup in a way that gives meaning to different sides of the spectrum? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm saying by one measure, saying, hey, can you make actual good music in Suno? Is that even possible? And can you like it? Can you like the music that you make in Suno? Is that possible for you? In short, it's a pretty sad situation. Pretty sad because if this was a test launch experiment, well, I think that unfortunately, I think this whole thing won't blow over soon enough because the new generations throw out everything. They throw out any as if they were ultimately the end of the world. So we'll see, we'll see. Very sad times. Think about it. So that's so interesting where we're at with this.
You've been emotionally manipulated by a band that doesn't even exist. Over 1.1 million people listened and had no idea it was 100% AI generated. The name? The Velvet Sundown. Sounds like vintage rock legends, but every note, every lyric, every face was made by code. And they admitted. Their Spotify bio literally says, composed, voiced, and visualized with AI. Deezer removed them from payout.
Hello?
Removed them from payouts. But Spotify and Apple Music, still pushing them. Why? Because AI music doesn't ask for royalties, doesn't get tired, doesn't talk back.
What do you mean AI music doesn't ask for royalties? I'm sure they're asking.
And the people listening, they have no idea. I expose the truth big tech buries. Subscribe now before you're fooled again. You've been
AI whistleblower, bro? AI whistleblower? AI exposing the dark side of artificial intelligence. This is an interesting find. Okay.
Hello and welcome to Muse News. We are Hello and welcome to Muse News. We are recording this episode from the beautiful recording studios here at Greenwave Productions. We're going to bring you the latest news from the world of rock, metal, and the music industry in general. So let's do it.
Okay, don't have time for all that.
Let's keep pushing the lens. This is a fully functioning music production. Send me a message. This has had some speculation. The band has retaliated on X by stating, and I quote, "Absolutely crazy that so-called journalists keep pushing the lazy, baseless theory that the Velvet Sundown is AI generated with zero evidence. Not a single one of these writers have reached out, visited a show, or listened beyond the Spotify algorithm." Now, the band says there's no evidence, yet a French tech company called Ikram Amplify ran the band's Silence and Dust album through its AI detection system and found that 12 of the 13 tracks are likely to be AI generated. Apparently, the tool used was identified as Suno 4.5 as the source for these tracks. Now, in case you didn't know who Suno was, well, that's a website that generates AI music. Velvet Sundown have also said there will be tour announcements soon. I'm not entirely sure how playing shows proves that their music isn't AI generated. If Velvet Sundown are using AI to generate music, could they potentially be facing the same legal battles that Suno and Udio are facing at the moment? Let me know what you think in the comments. Deftones loosely announced new music at their show at Crystal Palace.
Okay. This is interesting. Greenway Productions. Rock and let's add this for the cloud.
In London last week.
Because this is about doing Velvet Sundown, but it's also about the wider YouTube hypergraph in general. So the fact that this is rock and metal music news from this piece of from this channel called Green Wave Productions Ltd, that's interesting.
And it's turned out to be, well, not a band at all. No.
Pulse of light where I did something.
Vox. And as always, welcome back to Timely Tech Takeaways. I'm Charlie Vox. And as always, I'm joined by the ever-skeptical Liam Harper. Today we're diving into a story that's got the music world, and honestly, the tech world, buzzing. The Velvet Sundown. Liam, did you ever think we'd see the day when a band with 850,000 Spotify listeners turned out to be, well, not a band at all?
Not in a million years, Charlie. I mean, I love a good prank, but this is next level. The Velvet Sundown had everything. A groovy 1970s psychedelic vibe, album art that looked straight out of Woodstock, and these mysterious band members with names like Gabe Farrow and Orion Rio Del Mar. Turns out none of them are real. It's all AI. I gotta admit, I was fooled. Were you?
Completely. And I wasn't alone. We actually had a listener write in, shout out to Jamie from Manchester, who said listening to the Velvet Sundown felt like discovering Pink Floyd for the first time. That's how convincing the sound was. And it's not just nostalgia, is it? The music
felt like discovering Pink Floyd for the first time. These people would be like,
oh my god, I'm like, let's translate it.
Oh shit, there it is. You want me to translate it?
Yeah, I want to know the Vietnamese comment. I know you're doing a lot right now.
Cracked head.
Cracked head. I like that.
That's good. Let's listen to some of this.
Let's give the AI gods more fuel.
Should we start with the heads?
Let it burn. I mean, rip, let it burn. Let's just let it burn, rip, right?
Wait, why isn't what? Dust on the Wind there? Let's start with Dust on the Wind. Human or not, I freaking hate this.
That's a very good point that nobody has brought up.
I don't
Human
like this.
or AI, it's still giving Joshua Tree, Etsy Witch, bootleg, like, I have fucking crystals up my ass vibe.
Chill,
and,
not
like,
crystals up the ass.
Fringe.
So it's like a...
Hey.
Like a Creedence.
Sometimes that's the best
song, right?
type of content. Wait, let me turn it up.
It's not the part that makes it frustrating, right? Is it's almost there, right? Like it's got this, it's got all the flavor, all of the like shape, but it's once again, it's AI has stripped the music of its soul and its context.
This is so cool. It's hilarious. My wife used to love this song. We just used to listen to it while driving on the highway. She passed in 1998. She was a toaster, and I'm a calculator.
Hot.
This came straight from the heart. This CPU, that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely very, very clearly AI. But what is that song? Here's the part. That song is technically as good or better than that stupid ass song. I drink my whiskey neat. Like, and that's a real fucking person, and that's a real artist. So I think this AI.
That's the post Gnarls Barkley
Yeah.
joint.
Yeah.
The fucking alt nation
Alt nation
shit.
And this just sounds like this actually does sound. Oh, portmanteau. Portmanteau. This actually sounds better than that. So I understand.
In which direction?
Because it's AI.
Does anybody know what they're talking about right now?
It's not a,
This is for me and my live chat. Anybody? Okay, we're gonna continue this going. But this was just this is what I go to in terms of the playlist that I'm creating around Velvet Sundown. So what have I learned so far? I've learned that this is an AI artist group, and people are having mixed opinions. A lot of people are saying, hey, what is going on? How did they make it to number one? What does this say about Spotify? What does this say about the state of the music industry? And that's where I'm taking it currently. I'm trying to figure out what in this, like, where are we at in our search journey? I think we have to go wide again. Okay, let's go back to Velvet Sundown and search something new, something. Okay, so we already did the. Did we do today? Was that for today, or is that here? We're on tech takeaways. Yeah, we did today. So I guess we could do this week next, or we could do this month. I want to do this month. And then sort by upload date, sort by view count. So it begins.
Does a great job with it. Really cleanly splits the tracks out. Next, let's move on to the Velvet Sundown to see if we can tell if it's AI generated. Now, if it is, what I suspect is that it will be difficult for it to separate the tracks, and you're going to hear a ton of artifacts in the different parts. Let's actually take the verse part here and listen to that. Let's listen to the vocals, see what it sounds like.
Dust on the wind, boots on the ground, smoke in the sky, no peace found. Rivers run red, the drums roll slow. Tell me, brother.
Not bad. Let's listen to the guitars here. That's bad. Okay. Let's listen to the drums.
Okay. This is sold. Setting it in. Velvet Sundown.
Let's see what else we got here. That's it. So this sounds like the AI program that I'm using is having a lot of trouble splitting these apart. I'm actually using the one that's in Logic Pro. So this is Apple's version of AI that is a track splitter. And it does a really good job typically of doing it. But this is having a lot of problems, and I suspect that it may be because this is an AI track, and every time that you have an AI song, they are full of artifacts. And why is that? Well, one of the reasons is that it's trained on MP3s. As far as I know, it's trained on very low quality MP3s.
That's interesting. I did not know that it trained on MP3s versus MP4s versus MVDs or other file formats. MKV?
So the
Question
real
mark?
important data that these AI companies need, like Suno or Udio or Udio, however you say it, is they need multi-tracks so they can hear the voices and things like that. But one of the problems is that even if you have the multi-track, you don't have the effects that were used in the mix unless they were printed in the session, which is possible. But for old songs, that's not the case. But you can hear how this is really struggling to separate out the guitar parts and the keyboard parts and things like that. You hear some vocal parts that have a little weird artifacts in them, but the guitars and keyboards are, it's doing a really
Now
bad
this
job.
is what I would call technical grade analysis.
AI-generated artists, and they are getting
Oh, my lighting situation is quite tragic, actually.
and they're getting paid really on the work
Hello?
of other people
Okay, we need to
that
work on the
learn to
lighting
play instruments,
situation.
that learn to write songs, learn to write lyrics. They're getting paid off the work of producers that learn the craft.
Okay,
of
let's
production
put on
by audio
Fantano,
mixers,
and then
by
we'll go
audio
take a break.
engineers, and all the people that it took historically to make this kind of music or make any kind of music.
Okay, let's take a break. Put on Fantano.
Hi everyone, Anthony I. Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time to talk about our favorite topic on this channel, artificial intelligence. Nah man, I'm just kidding, that shit sucks. Especially when it comes to generative AI, because through that we are seeing the slow replacement of human creativity and art. And now we have finally hit a point where we have an example of what is, I guess, nominally a highly successful AI artist on the Spotify platform. I mean, for sure what I'm about to talk about and show you is not the first AI artist on Spotify. There have been examples of that here and there that we have referenced in the past on this channel. But this particular band, as it were, actually seems to be picking up like steam, and they're getting the kind of numbers that some up-and-coming artists would actually kill to have. So here we have the Velvet Sundown, who, when initially there were a bunch of like social media posts and articles reporting on this band, they had about 300,000 monthly listeners on the Spotify platform. Since all of the hubbub around the existence of this band, that number has doubled. They currently have 2 albums out on the Spotify platform, no official label at the moment, and they're
Okay, let's add this to a playlist.
And their presentation currently on the Spotify platform is pretty official. They are currently a verified artist over on Spotify, and the band is also currently being featured in some pretty big and popular playlists, like this one of Vietnam music. Yeah, the AI interface that wrote these songs is just really burned up about the Vietnam War. Maybe that AI lost its uncle in Vietnam or something. Or maybe it's a part of this AI band's backstory that they got drafted in the war and then came back and wrote all these wonderful songs. To make things even more official, the Velvet Sundown actually has like a bit of a blurb, a write-up, a band description. There's something quietly spellbinding about the Velvet Sundown. What the hell is quietly spellbinding? What does it mean to be spellbound quietly? You just don't listen to them, you drift into them. I mean, we know it's bullshit background AI music. Their music doesn't shout for your attention, it seeps in slowly like a scent that suddenly takes you back somewhere you didn't expect. So basically, it stinks. It has a stinky smell to it. Their sound mixes textures of 70s psychedelic alt rock.
Fantano's given his critique of the AI generated music.
Textures, shimmering tremolos, warm tape reverbs, and the gentle swirl. And they have swirl of organs itself. Basically a nice way of saying, none of these songs are memorable, don't try to remember any of them, it's just all forgettable crap. The Velvet Sundown aren't trying to revive the past, they're
Okay, let's take a break and dip in the power line. Okay, we just finished our brief intermission. Now we're doubling back to the Velvet Underground. Or, excuse me, Velvet Sundown. Okay, Fantano was
Nice way
going
of
over.
saying, none of these songs are memorable. Don't try to remember any of them. It's just all forgettable crap. The Velvet Sundown aren't trying to revive the past. They're rewriting it. That's the problem. That's the issue. We should, leave that shit intact so we, recall things that happened and have a sense of human history and trajectory. We shouldn't be trying to use AI to rewrite that shit, either artistically or otherwise. They sound like the memory of a time that never actually happened, but somehow they make it feel real. I mean, yeah, that's literally what this is. It is basically a ripoff of something that sounds like it's from the 70s, but it didn't actually come from the 70s. It just sounds like a bunch of vague rip-off crap of music from that time period with no real aesthetic or stylistic consistency across these two albums. It's like I'm listening to a compilation of the most boring bands of that time period. Maybe you could actually get something.
That's the main, I think, to boil it down, that's the main crux that most people have been talking about.
It was genuinely good, which is wild when you realise it was generated by AI tools like Suno. Suno basically takes text prompts and spins them into full tracks. It's like, hey, give me a trippy guitar solo and some dreamy vocals, and boom, you've got a song. And
yeah, and the thing is,
what's going on
it wasn't
here?
Just the music. The whole package was so well crafted. The backstories, the press photos, every detail was AI generated. I mean, I've seen AI do some weird stuff, but this was, I don't know, almost poetic, or maybe just a really elaborate troll. But it does make you wonder, what made it so convincing? Was it the tech?
Yeah,
or
what
just
made
that
it so
people really wanted to believe
convincing?
in a new psychedelic band.
bit of both, I think. The tech's gotten scarily good at mimicking those classic sounds, but there's also this hunger for authenticity, or at least the illusion of it. And, as we talked about in our episode on AI in music, people are already used to digital manipulation in pop, but this was a step further. The AI wasn't just helping, it was the whole band.
And the irony is, the more real it sounded, the more people bought into the myth. I mean, 850,000 listeners. That's not just a fluke. That's a lot of people vibing to something that technically doesn't exist. It's kind of brilliant, kind of terrifying.
So let's talk about the moment the curtain got pulled back. Turns out Gabe, Lenny, Milo, and Rio, these supposed bandmates, were all AI fabrications. The whole thing was orchestrated by a guy named Andrew Freeland, who eventually admitted it was an art hoax. I mean, Liam, do you think this was just a clever experiment, or did it cross a line?
Oh, it definitely crossed a line. Or at least, it danced right on it. I get the whole, let's challenge what's real angle, but when you've got fans genuinely connecting with these fake personas, it gets messy. And the industry reaction? All over the place. Deezer flagged the music as 100% AI generated, which props to them for transparency. But Spotify? Radio silence. Not a peep. It's like they're hoping it'll just blow over.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? If platforms don't step up, we're going to see more of these art hoaxes. Should there be a rule that says, hey, if your band is made by AI, you have to tell people?
Yes.
I mean, I think so. At least give people the choice to know what they're listening to.
I mean, even this is AI generated, is it not?
Not that there's anything wrong with tofu, but you want to know what's on your plate, right?
That's a terrible analogy, but I get your point. And the fallout wasn't just about the music. Fans felt duped, and artists started speaking out. It's not just about, is this song catchy? It's about trust. And as we saw with Deezer, some platforms are trying to get ahead of it, but others are, well, sleepwalking into an AI music crisis, as one headline put it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not just about this one band. It's a wake-up call for the whole industry. If you can't tell what's real, what does that mean for music going forward? And what about the people who pour their lives into making music the old-fashioned way?
That brings us to the big questions. Ethics, regulation, what the future looks like. The Velvet Sundown hoax really put a spotlight on how blurry the line is between human and AI creativity. And now you've got big names, Elton John, Dua Lipa, calling for regulation to protect human artists.
Elton John and Dua Lipa?
Used to train AI without permission. And honestly, who can blame them?
Yeah, and it's not just about copyright, right? It's about what we value in art. Like, if you can't tell who or what made a song, does it change how you feel about it? I mean, I once got
that's exactly what I'm trying to figure out.
Right? It's about what we value in art.
What do we value in art? What do we value in art? If you can't tell who or what made a song, does it change how you feel about it? If you can't tell who or what made a song, does it change how you feel about it? I think that's going to be the question of our time. Totally. That is what I'm betting on in this entry for going through Velvet Sundown hoax. well, Velvet Sundown. Is it a hoax? Is it not a hoax? What do we have to say about the content that we're searching for? Velvet Sundown. We're still searching. What can we find next?
Okay, I'm a real human being. I'm not fake. I'm a real person. I'm not AI. This is the cover of an AI song, though, by the Velvet Sundown, whatever they want to call themselves.
Okay, we got a cover. Sold.
Dust on the wind, boots on the ground, smoke in the sky, no peace found. The river runs red, the drums roll slow. Tell me, brother, where do we go? Raise your hand, don't look away.
Okay.
Sing out loud, beg and pay. Fight for peace, not for pride.
What?
Let that flag turn the tide.
Turn the tide.
AI generated stuff.
A little bit of humor.
I mean, I once got into an argument with a chatbot that wrote a poem I thought was mine. I was like, hey, that's pretty good. Then I realized, nope, it was just a bot. I felt weirdly cheated, or maybe just old. Charlie, you ever get that feeling?
All the time, mate. I mean, I love tech, but there's something about knowing a real person poured their heart into a song or a story. That's not to say AI can't make cool stuff, but maybe we need clearer labels or at least a conversation about what counts as authentic. And as we've said in previous episodes, regulation's always playing catch up with tech. But this feels like one of those moments where we need to get ahead of it, not just react after the fact.
Totally. And look, I'm not anti-AI. I love a good robot joke as much as the next guy. But if we want a future where both humans and AI can make music, we gotta figure out the rules. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep having these weird existential debates every time a new band pops up out of nowhere.
Couldn't have said it better. Alright, that's all we've got for today's episode of Timely Tech Takeaways. We'll be back soon with more stories from the wild world of tech. Liam, always a pleasure.
Right back at you, Charlie. And to everyone listening, keep your playlist weird and your minds open. See you next time.
Circuits hum a soft goodbye, beats descending like stars in the sky. Gentle tones signal it's time to part, a loop of tech for a brand new start.
This was interesting. This was an interesting AI generated how money became the world's first shared religion. Yeah, I mean, you can really create a clips channel and go viral. I mean, and get good views. Okay, so what are we at next? Okay, so we consumed through this, through this. What? No human. What? Okay, that's good enough.
And just when you thought AI couldn't get any worse, now it's starting a band.
A seemingly AI-generated band is racking up hundreds of thousands of streams on Spotify.
Raise your hand, don't look
Velvet Sundown is the band. They have over 1 million fans on Spotify in just a month of being there. Now, in a statement, the band admits it is computer generated.
That's right, the beloved band Velvet Sundown is not real. Their groupies must be like, well, wait, then who have I been f***ing? And it might blow your mind because this photo could have easily fooled anyone who's over 60 and or legally blind. But sadly, it's all fake. Everything about this is fake, and somehow they still have 1 million real fans on Spotify, making them real money. I'm talking $6 to $7 a year. And just when you thought AI
sold. So we're getting deep culture commentary. Oh, this should be nice.
Three to 5 in the afternoon. Well, it's time to not only start the second hour of the program, but also welcome our guest. Hey, it's Emmy. He's a content creator, a music specialist at MEPSO HDC.
Oh, this is all auto-dubbed.
And we're going to talk about the Velvet Sundown, a ghost band that's triumphing on Spotify. How are you, Emmy? Welcome.
Hello.
Excuse
very,
me.
Very, very well. The weather is very nice here in Mexico. Hopefully there too. And well, everything is going very well. Well, here's the...
Going to need flesh and blood human artists because if you...
to emerge about how the platform allowed this, even though it was something so obvious, because when an ordinary creator, an ordinary artist, is noticed to be beating them up, reporting them, and often taking down their profile. But what happened here? Why didn't this profile have any repercussions
Friendships are
during
a
the entire month that it
controversial
was
topic,
growing?
and one that has
And even when
artists...
people realized that it was a project with artificial intelligence. Well, obviously, if you ask me, well, I don't know. Obviously, we're going to say here, supposedly, allegedly, as it would be said in English, because we don't want to get into trouble. But if you ask me, it must be something like the same
There was
project that
also
the
one
platform
man-
is, well, carrying out as an experiment, perhaps. Let's see how this goes. Let's see. We're going to test this. Let's see. Because imagine if they're achieving all this with the Velvet Zone, this ghost band with artificial intelligence, as we were already mentioning, imagine everything that can be achieved now. So, they'll be saying, well, let's throw a guinea pig, right? That would be my assumption. Obviously, this is something that I assume is the case. Quote, sure, it's one of the main theories, and it's very intriguing to think about what their decision is going to be after this. If, hey, we're not going to do this because it's something completely unethical and terrible, or simply since we have the things that they're aware of, we're going to cover them up. We don't know what's going to be next, but it's very intriguing because just now that you mentioned that they had 800,000 listeners, right now at the time of this conversation, they have 1.2 million and they're 3 days away from releasing another album.
Wow, another album, a third album.
Of course, yes. The time frame in which they're developing projects is not human, right? I mean, technology is definitely doing its thing. Now, there are people who have already been singled out in this case to know exactly who is behind this project.
No, it is not known yet. I mean, no official Instagram account has come out. Well, an official Instagram account has just come out with a statement talking a bit about the project, justifying it by saying that it was like a new idea, artistic mission, and I don't know what, but as such, no one has come out to take responsibility for this whole movement, and that makes it even more interesting, because the platforms could easily find out who is the person who is.
Billing the money for all those streams, but they are not doing it.
Well, obviously there is something or someone or a company here that is covering up, obviously. Also, I have read that Daniel E.C., as you know, CEO of Spotify, told the BBC that the company does not plan to ban music generated by artificial intelligence. It does reject its use to imitate real artists. But with this premise, if the president of Spotify says, I don't plan on banning music made with artificial intelligence, he is obviously endorsing the making of this music. Well, this supports my theory that perhaps they themselves are behind this as guinea pigs to see how these types of projects do, right? Basically, we're almost not going to need flesh and blood human artists because if you can launch any group, any band, then you don't need anything, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think the main thing here is if their position on this specific situation of the Velvet Sundown were different, they would have deleted his profile from the beginning. Obviously, but no, that's not their position. And giving you an extra piece of information, I recently uploaded a video to my platform talking about the Velvet Sundown, but the reason wasn't the Velvet Sundown, the reason was another artist who I realized was artificial intelligence. Another artist that many people don't know about, and I, personally, am a very nailed to what I hear, and very much so, I didn't realize it. So there are artists within all these editorial playlists that we don't realize, and they're really there as more guinea pigs that we don't realize. In fact, Velvet Sundown was very obvious. That's why we realized it. I realized it. Yeah, this other artist you're talking about, this other musical project you're talking about, could you share it? We might know which one it is. Yeah, it's called Copperplate. It's like, well, the image is like a girl doing
Copper
shows.
plate?
You know, show is a genre where you don't really hear the vocals very much. This audio is actually very saturated in echo sound. So you want it to not be like a big door to hide an AI model because you don't realize it. In fact, when I listened to it, I said, wow, it sounds like a great shoegaze artist. What is he saying? I have no idea. Why? Because that's the genre. So I went ahead, and what happened was that I wanted to recommend her in a video, and when I started listening to her other music, because I had listened to an album of hers in quotes, right? I had listened to an album of hers, and I said, hey, I'm liking it. I'm going to investigate more. She didn't have a single social network. She didn't have a single editorial photo, other than 1 in 6 ales in a span of a year.
Yeah, there's one every 2 months. She's
giving you everything there.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's when it was at the same time that the Velvet Sundown thing was coming out, and that's when, wow, there's a lot going on in this regard, and we probably haven't realized a lot of it.
Right? And when you realize it, it's been going on for a while and you're almost in another stage, right? I mean, artificial intelligence is here to stay. Look, Emmy, you're staying with us. Hey, we're going to take a break. But when we get back, we'd like to finish discussing this topic with you. We're going to listen to a song too. We're going to do some advertising and continue talking with Emmy. He's a content creator and music specialist. Today, we're talking about the Velvet Sundown, a phantom band that's triumphing on Spotify. But another one just came out. I mean, we might have Devil's S and Down on our radar right now, and this other one, called Copper Play. But there could be others that we haven't finished detecting yet. This artificial intelligence thing, honestly, I think it's impossible to stop it, right? Here we go.
Look, here we go. Now we're going to listen to an artist who's not artificial intelligence. It's Sebastian Yatra. His name is Ananyo.
There will be a lot of people who'll get the hang of it.
Sure, of course.
Whether it's ethical or not, of course.
And you, Emmy, do you particularly like their proposal, and would you like to go to this experience or presentation or whatever you want to call it in New York if they were to present it?
Not at all. I mean, the truth is that I'm a person who greatly values the human aspect of the artist, and I understand that it is a technology that I as an individual probably won't be able to combat in a certain way. But I think it also depends on me how much it grows, right? So if I, for example, don't want to consume it precisely so that it doesn't grow, it's up to me to take that action, right?
Yes. You have your principles very clear in that regard, right?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think that at least the art that I like to consume, the art that I feel, does come from a human aspect. And for example, since I heard this, the truth is that I didn't feel any of that and I wouldn't consume it. Whether I knew it was artificial intelligence or not, but obviously it is a very big factor that doesn't come from anything human, which is what I like.
Yes, yes. In the end, it lacks a soul, right? In the end, the artistic process, I think that the mystical, the important, the genuine thing is that creation that comes, if you want something that goes beyond, right? Which is perhaps that connection of the human with the celestial, to a certain extent, right? The artist brings something, an inspiration, many things that he wants to express that come from emotional processes that perhaps, obviously, artificial intelligence doesn't have.
Of course, because in the end, a very important factor that we have to remember is that artificial intelligence does not create, it imitates. In other words, artificial intelligence has no reason why it could be a new expression. Ultimately, that's why the two examples we gave, this artificial intelligence project sounds like this one also sounds like this, because you can't get out of the box that's created. And that's the joke with artists, that's the joke with music, that ultimately when an artist is good, it's because they bring a new proposal, because they have new emotions, and because they have a new expression, which I think can't be replicated.
Well, who knows where we're going to end up with this topic? None of us know. But anyway, we're going to be very attentive to this topic. Emmy, we love talking to you. Thank you for taking those minutes to talk to us right now. Where are you? You told us you're in Mexico City, but where? I'm in northern Mexico. Oh, how cool. What city?
In Monterrey.
Oh, I know Monterrey. Well, we'll be with you later. Keep going. Emmy is listening over there. Quick, your favorite artist that you're currently hooked on. Oh, my favorite artist. I think his name is Debet right now. No, that's not true. That's not true.
No, that's not true. Right now I'm listening to a guy called Blood Orange a lot. He's from London. He's great. Listen to him, everyone. How cool. Thanks for the recommendation.
Emmy, remember his social media accounts.
Thanks. It's at Emmy-HDZ everywhere.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us. Look, this one also sounds a bit like the Beatles to me, and I don't know if you know that today's song is also called Let It Burn, so it's often associated with Let It Be. And I'll tell you that today. This here is an extra piece of information before we take a break. Today, July 10th, is the International Day of the renowned Burl Band. However, there are 3 special dates dedicated to this band. Each one, well, has a special meaning. January 16th marks the opening of the Carvin Club, which is where the band got started on July 6th. Because that was the day John Lennon and Paul McCartney met. And today, July 10th, their return to Liverpool is celebrated after a successful tour of the United States, which catapulted them into the spotlight. Of course, in that man.
What would John Lennon think of artificial intelligence today? Well, Emmy, we love you. Thank you. We appreciate the contact. We enjoyed this very pleasant conversation. I hope we can have you back on the show soon. A big hug from Mexico.
Okay, so we finished up that video, which was an AI dubbed video talking about the controversy over Velvet Sundown. So we're getting a lot of, we're not really getting mixed opinions this time around. Most people are not in favor of this AI-generated quote-unquote slop. And there's so many ethical and moral considerations that are being levied in terms of how people think about the existence of a soul contained within music, or at least as an expression of it. As something contained and isolated from pure language, which is a ontological argument. In terms of nominalism and /or realism, I tend to lean towards realism in terms of the imbued nature of what the characteristic of the essence of the language, meaning or better yet, red actually capturing redness as an instantiation, not literally, because there was a thought proposite where somebody was like, what if water was a different molecule in parallel Earth? How would that reverberate combinatorically in terms of our language process, to the extent that when you're referring to water, it now refers to something else that's not H2O? So something along those lines had me thinking about the combinatoric multiplicity of language and how we've developed and sort of codified these linguistic abstractions over time. Redness, what does it mean to have redness? ... question mark. Okay, let's move to the next one.
Friendships are a controversial topic, and so it could finally be used by the Beatles.
Wait, what's going on?
Friendships are a controversial topic, and one that has artists, producers, and music journalists like me on edge. The use of artificial intelligence in the music you and I listen to has reached such a point that we can no longer distinguish between what's real and what's artificial intelligence.
Okay, here we go. The crux of the conversation. We can no longer tell the difference between what's real and what's artificial intelligence. Let's add this video to our playlist. And let's take a moment to just double back, check out our filters. This month, video view count. Okay, now a lot has been published this month. $23,000 views.
Of this week by far was this band, the Velvet Sundown, going absolutely viral on Spotify. And well, it's an AI generated band. I mean, all of the songs are AI generated. The images of the band are AI generated. Everything you can find about this seems to be AI generated. They're actually getting a fairly decent social media following, but nothing compared to what they're seeing on Spotify. Oh my God! So in this video, I know normally I do a news video this week, but I want to do a little change of pace and actually break down exactly how this band managed to accomplish what they did. And I want this to be sort of this cautionary tale. I want to show you how they did it, mostly because I want you to be able to spot this type of stuff. If you don't want to listen to AI music and you want to be able to spot AI music and AI generated bands better, knowing how this was made can help you do that. This video also might serve as a bit of a wake-up call for some people who may be unknowingly listening to AI music right now and they were never the wiser about it. To start, let's talk about how they most likely generated the songs themselves that they're using. They most likely used Suno.com to generate the music. Now, this is a platform that has both free and paid plans and makes it really easy for anybody to create music that actually sounds like it was generated by a real band. So let's go ahead and sign in here, and we'll make sure we're on the newest model. This is version 4.5 here. And then if we switch to custom up here at the top, we have all sorts of settings to really dial in the music however we want. We even have this feature called a persona, where once you find a style of music that you really like and you want all of your future music to sound like that, you create a persona out of it.
Okay, so Matt Wolf has some content, and we're gonna add that. Just for synchronicity's sake, a friend of mine sent me the video a day ago, and I ended up doing a search journey on it without realizing. So that was powerful. AI generated music.
Today I'm going to discuss a very current case on Spotify that's been covered in the international press. The use of artificial intelligence by music producers is no longer news to anyone. From the restoration of John Lennon's voice, right, in the Beatles' last song, Now and Then, to the song Where That Came From, which featured Randy Traves' regenerated vocals, right, due to a vocal problem he had, and a song that reached number 45 on the Billboard Country Music Chart, or the voices of Drake and Weeknd in a duet created by artificial intelligence. Yes, there are differences. I want to believe in the cases I mentioned. Nwendon, for example, didn't suppress real musicians or arrangers. She simply separated John Lennon's voice, a home recording he had made, so it could finally be used by the Beatles. Drake and The Weeknd, on the other hand, had their voices entirely generated by software trained to reproduce both of their voices. And there are those who can no longer differentiate between what's real and what's artificial. And that's where I think things start to get very complicated and very strange. It's such an irreversible process. Most likely, the question is about the ethical limits of this use. In my Substack, which I invite you to subscribe to and follow, I've been following this debate about platforms like Spotify, which have released songs entirely created by artificial intelligence without us knowing exactly what we're consuming. And they still make, of course, the algorithms work in their favor. Obviously, right, friends, all the platforms, all of them, not just Spotify, have algorithms in their hands, right? As a content producer, I can tell you that neither here on YouTube, nor on Spotify, nor anywhere else, does a content producer who doesn't invest, right, have a chance of being seen. Everything is about boosting, about money. And so a podcast, for example, with people you've never met in your life, suddenly becomes a ratings phenomenon. Yup. People like me, and so many others, right, content creators who focus on niches, are swimming against the current, but that's okay, because that's something I, at least, do consciously. The problem with targeted content is when you think you're choosing it when you click, but you're not, right? The platforms throw this in your face.
So this is doubling back to my work as an aggregator as well. In terms of user-generated content versus user-generated playlists, for me, there's nothing that brings me greater joy than to actually have people consume the content that I curate. An example of this would be to go to our playlist archive channel at Mr. Pollock 890 and check out some of the content that we curate here in terms of our playlists. So if you're interested in consuming content that I've consumed in whole or in part, check out some of our curated playlists over at Mr. Pollock 890. They should be indexed via language, meaning you have your ASAP quick pick, you have your category specific quick picks, you have your miscellaneous quick picks, and you also have your temporal quick picks we did a showcase for Q1 and Q2. And we might even do one for Q3 for 2024. So if you're interested, check it out. Returning back to our playlist for this session. This is the Velvet Sundown AI Culture Commentary. And we're dipping into some people saying, hey, just trying to make an assessment to figure out where in the right side of history. It sounds so melodramatic when you put it like that, right? The right side of history, right? But it's interesting in terms of Fantano's argument, meaning that it was made to imitate the 70s, right? It's not providing something novel. It's just providing something from a specific era, replicating that and then claiming to be about veterans from Vietnam. And it got over 1 million clicks. So people are saying, hey, is this a seed round in terms of getting people to discover something that, or in terms of getting it past people, because they think, hey, well, we can just break out this AI generated artwork, and people will be just a trial balloon, to float a trial balloon in terms of checking out just what we will have to it be done. So now we're gonna check out this auto dubbed, and we're gonna continue it.
Face, and you click and watch almost like a kind of autonomous. And by doing so, you often miss out on what might actually interest you. The platform's
We're gonna roll it back.
Is when you think that's something I, at least, do consciously. The problem with targeted content is when you think you're choosing it when you click, but you're not, right? The platforms throw this in your face, and you
targeted
click and watch almost like a kind
content.
of autonomous. And by doing so, you often miss out on what might actually interest you. And that's exactly what music platforms are starting to do with the use of artificial intelligence. This week, I read about a mysterious band. In other words, no one had ever heard of this band that just emerged and already had over 340,000 listeners. The detail: the band, which has 4 members, may have been created by artificial intelligence. Any doubts, friendships, and any surprises? Could there be anything more profitable for a music platform than a band that doesn't receive a single cent in royalties, doesn't even generate any work, doesn't offer any opinions, and looks like artificial intelligence chooses from algorithms? In the book Mood Machine, American journalist Lee Pell revealed that Spotify has long employed employees to create content that fits perfectly. In other words, they supply the platform with elevator jazz or techno, purchased at low cost, promoting their own songs and further increasing profits. And do you think they're alone? Experts estimate that about 20%, I said 20%, of all newly uploaded music today is entirely generated by artificial intelligence. Who hasn't heard of an app called Suno, which describes itself as an artificial intelligence music studio in a curse? Well, this app has been downloaded millions and millions and millions of times worldwide since its launch in late 2024. And this app specializes in simulating real bands. So, friends, that's already a thing, right? But the issue for the music production chain is above all ethical, right? It's not just about music being produced by artificial intelligence, which in itself generates a debate that I think is necessary, but it's also about dishonesty, right? About not telling people who pay for this service, including, right?
So right now the OP
Like
is
you and
going
me,
over.
These platforms are paid, that we're consuming artists, bands that don't exist.
Their opinions
these
about
bands, right?
what AI generated music means to the present moment and how it's affecting the industry as a producer.
These artists jumping ahead of us is part of very popular playlists, which ends up being a pretty perverse move, right? That deceives people like us, who consume music, and more than that, it creates an unfair competition with real artists. Or have we already...
Unfair competition with real artists. That's an interesting point. And it's why I think that there should be a bifurcation of civilization. And we have to start this sooner rather than later, because the longer we wait, the more we're going to get pulled into these distinctions where people are saying, hey, I don't care if it's AI generated as long as it's good. And people saying, no, it doesn't matter if it's good. I want to know that this artistry was made by a human. And weighing that mode of differentiation in terms of, okay, well, what are we talking about? 100% handcrafted? Are we talking Venetian days? Are we talking no synthesizers? No Appleton? What do you mean 100% created by a human, by hand? ... So as the technology becomes more ubiquitous and easy to use, it's going to be interesting to see just what type of problems come up. In terms of moral and philosophical discussions.
We reach the point where we think that a human existence or one created by artificial intelligence is the same thing. By the way, the band's name is the Velvet Sundown, and obviously, it's not an isolated case, as I said, right? This is something that's already happening with individual songs that appear in your app as if suggested, right, by algorithms based on what you listen to. And since listening to music today is an ocean, right, of unknown species, of course, we don't even notice. And this case, then, only alerts us to what's already happening. The question remains, so will it be like this now? And it's not just the platforms, you know? Timberland, a hip-hop producer, has already founded his own music label made entirely by artificial intelligence, Stage Zero, and announced a computer-generated female pop star. Of course, on the other side, there are a lot of artists who are speaking out against this, right? Against this invasion of artificial intelligence in music production. Nick Cave, for example, called artificial intelligence a grotesque mockery of what it means to be human. And you, what do you think of this debate, friendships, the impact of all this on the music production chain? Is it a losing battle, or will good music always prevail, right? It will always be something irreproducible, inimitable. The Velvet Sundown, therefore, is the tip of this iceberg. What do you think of all this? I find it all very bizarre and wonder. Are the days of great artists, great bands over? Will music simply be a repetition, of course, increasingly perfect, of something we've already heard somewhere? Tell me what you think of all this in the comments.
The power of great music.
$1 million monthly listeners, 600,000 monthly listeners. Is Spotify actually behind all of this? I think playlist manipulation. I noticed the fact that Timberland was following this band to steal not just their music, but their name, likeness, and I go, why are they allowing it? I don't think it's an overstatement that the streaming ecosystem is changing overnight. Just in the last week, the number of AI bands that have been popping up, at least according to Music Business Worldwide, was something like 13, 14 that they identified, and they go about 4 million streams are attributable to these AI artists or AI bands. Now here's the thing, I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about what I am the most worried about in this situation, because obviously AI music, AI artists, this is a thing. This is not the first time we're finding out about this. And this week I covered the Velvet Sundown. At the time they had maybe 500,000 streams. But I just go, look, my biggest concern here is I go to the bio for this band, and the bio very clearly makes it seem like these are humans making human-made music and how they are representing themselves to the world. And I go, this is the first jump-off point that I'm going from on just being like, I'm kind of concerned because there are consumer fraud issues that come up. But this is not where the analysis
Consumer
ends.
fraud issues.
I went to Instagram for this band, and I saw that Timberland is following. And I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but as I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole, I go, people are upset because they go, there seems to be bad actors right now that are deceiving, that are arguably stealing. And my question is, well, who are they? So in the realm of who are the bad actors, are we talking about people who have made AI music, or is Spotify actually behind all of this? Context. Spotify is a digital service provider, and we know that it is paying out tens of billions of dollars of royalties. So in this, we go, well, with this bundling situation that came up, so now people's music is being bundled with audiobooks, which means human-made authors are getting paid less. There's this dilution issue. And so I go, wouldn't it be advantageous for Spotify to have to pay out less? And
Yeah, we're not going to be able to watch this entire video as we're coming up on time, but we did add this video into a playlist, so we'll be able to watch it later. A top music attorney. Spotify exposed the AI ban scam. And so we're gonna just take a look at this and try to find some content. Let's go with, okay, so we're doing today video under 4 minutes. We're gonna go month under 4 minutes and upload date. Upload date or view count? Well, let's research. What's this? A band Velvet search slowed blah 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 blah.
We've reached the point where a fake band made by an algorithm has to defend itself from real people trying to steal its identity. That's where we are. Imagine discovering a new band with vintage rock vibes, moody album art, and 4 cool looking band members. Now imagine finding out they don't exist. Except on your screen.
They don't exist.
Meet the Velvet Sundown, a band with over 1 million monthly Spotify listeners, viral tracks, Instagram posts, and 0 actual humans in the lineup. So, what is this digital witchcraft?
That was interesting.
The band is a fully AI-generated music project. AI composes lyrics and melodies by analyzing massive amounts of existing songs to learn patterns and structure. Instead of creating from inspiration, it uses probability to predict what word or note would come next. It's kind of like an advanced form of autocomplete. While AI doesn't understand emotion, it mimics it convincingly by learning from human-made examples and adjusting based on feedback or stylistic goals. So how did a virtual band with under 3,000 followers go viral? It's actually pretty good. Some songs remind me of the Beatles, while others conjure up more of a Pink Floyd vibe.
Okay, this dude's saying it's actually pretty good. That's novel.
Here's where it gets weird. In early July, the Velvet Sundown claims someone tried to hijack their identity with fake interviews and photos. Let that sink in. We've reached a point where fake bands made by algorithms have to defend themselves from real people trying to steal their identity. That's where we are. Some artists, like Elton John, are calling for regulation. Others see it as a creative tool, not a threat. No one's agreed yet. Not Spotify, not the courts, definitely not the comment section. So where does that leave us? The Velvet Sundown isn't just an AI stunt. It's a mirror held up to our taste, habits, and what we actually expect from artists today. If a song moves you, but no one wrote it, is it still worth something? If AI is going to replace humans in creative roles, then I think the work it produces should cost significantly less. After all, AI doesn't require fair wages, health benefits, or time to rest. And it can generate content in seconds. Do you think AI-made art should be labeled and compensated differently? Would that help human creators?
It should be labeled and compensated differently. But is that even legally feasible? Like, as an ideal, I think it's feasible. But as a legal matter and an actual matter of art in terms of how the civilization works, to the extent that we're referring to anything at all when we refer to the civilization versus a specific jurisdictional municipality. But yeah, it should be interesting. So let's switch up these filters. Let's go under 4 minutes. Let's go this month. Let's go view count. Dust on the wind. Let's read into some of these comments. Doused on the wind. Love this song since it was a bit old. Now at 64 gigabytes, this brings back a lot of memories. This song brings back so many good memories of zeros and ones. I'm crying artificial tears with my artificial eyes. My wife used to love this song. We just listened to it while driving on the highway. She passed in 86. A toaster. This came straight from the heart. The CPU, that is. Actually, can I zoom in on some of this? We're at 25. Okay, so 200 is about where we should be at when we're reading comments. This brings back so many random access memories. March for peace, not for pride. AI already getting in on the culture wars. Fight the patriarchy, speak truth to power, virtue signal, as long as that's what the current fashion is. Yeah, that did wrinkle my lip a bit. Great line though, honestly. I'm thinking they probably didn't mean that sort of pride, and then I'm thinking, wait, it's an AI, it's not thinking at all. And getting it right. March without legs, without noting to feel. So what you're saying is that given straight up data and analyzing actual people, what they actually say, that AI has through logical progression determined that these words are significant. I would agree and surprise even myself. Then it says, let the flag turn with the tides. I really wouldn't try to derive actual meaning and intent from AI lyrics. That line immediately told me what kind of stuff they put into the AI chatbot to generate this hot garbage. Super gay. At Sepulgin 2859. Don't stand on the seats. Ubrock, must be grok. Next comment, if this is what robot music sounds like, then I guess Daft Punk really was human after all. I used to listen to this song when I first returned from the Vietnam War. I was going through a tough time because my best friend died in combat right out by the river, and we were going to start a shrimp fishing company together. This song gave me the strength to buy my own boat by myself and try anyway. My former PO would later join my company, and we both loved this song even though he didn't have any legs. I know what love is, Jenny. Lie, lie, lie. Sing, Forrest, sing. Your comment touched my heart, yes. Excuse me. That's it for what it's worth. This comment was not a lot of box of chocolates. Something, something, something. A lot of text. RIP to your wife. The dead internet theory is a reality at this point. Even the AI bots are commenting in this video. Can't wait for the dark side of the sun. My Roomba came to a dead stop at the sound of this song. It was very unmoved by it. I had to finish the vacuuming myself. This group should do Staircase to Heaven. The intro sounds just like it. Glad I'm not the only one realizing. More like Escalator to Hell. Whoever generated this deserves to meet God. Dream to where you were here. We clearly created AI in our own image, since it's the first impulse to rip off Stairway to Heaven. Baby steps at first. I think they should mangle ABBA. Let's face it, if any band deserves mangling, it would be ABBA. Staircase to the server room. LOL, this group. I prefer their new hit, By Way of Hell. Yes, or quote, born in the USSR, end quote. I heard Wally World Unix or Encinitis. That's ENCINITAS. Escalator to heaven. Mediocre corporation should do feel like making lunch. All we are is AI in the wind. Wow, so we just cracked the 2-hour mark. Wow, what a journey this has been. Let's see how many videos we have in our playlist. Have about 16 videos. We want to add some more before we finish up. Okay, we're doubling back, checking out the filters this month, under 4 minutes, view count. Check this out, Let It Burn, Echoes Through the Paint, Velvet Sundown, Topic. Okay, so we're gonna add this just for the clout.
Psychedelic rock band has skyrocketed.
Scrolling. Crimson Paradise. So they're getting some provided to YouTube by DistroKid. Okay, I like that. Let's add that in.
The controversy around this AI band keeps getting weirder. Recently, I told you about this band, the Velvet Sundown, that everyone believes is 100% AI generated because they showed up out of nowhere last month with 2 full albums and a 3rd on the way, and have already gained millions of streams despite there being no record of the band or its members existing more than 30 days ago. Also, their picture looks like this. The band did eventually create some social media profiles and put up files.
So we're getting more of the same. We're getting reactions to the thing in of itself. Let's see just what type of content we're getting. Okay, so we have AI made a #1 song and it's confusing everyone. AI music is taking over, this is scary. And then we have culture commentary, the thing in and of itself with the Vietnam rip, culture commentary, more culture commentary, a voiceover AI cover, a clip from a news comedy show, dubbed culture commentary, AI culture commentary, legal culture commentary, the thing in of itself. So yeah, I think I want to add more of the actual content itself and some culture commentary.
Files and put
for the ones we couldn't keep. Let it burn.
Taylor Swift has spoken out about the AI band, the Velvet Sundown, going viral, and what this could mean for musicians. A band with no past, no faces, and no proof of existence is suddenly everywhere, and no one can explain how. The Velvet Sundown has quietly taken over Spotify, racking up over 411,000 monthly listeners with 0
don't normally do this kind of content, but somebody asked me to have a look at the instruments the Velvet Sundown are playing. For those who don't know, don't normally do this kind of content, but somebody asked me to have some issues with strings, favor of screw.
This is more artistic looking, and I mean, it looks 2 dots for the octave. It's got a dot followed by a dot. That doesn't happen anywhere on a guitar. So at least we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least we've got the dot on the 5th fret. But look at the strings as well. So everybody, when they're playing their guitar, will know that you have your low E string and your A string quite far apart. Then when you go down to your D string, it's quite far apart. And then you have your G string really close to your D, and then the other strings disappear and you can't really see anything else going on. So every guitarist knows that that's exactly how it works. So again, look at my guitar.
Not bad culture commentary. Okay, so I think that's 25 videos. So normally we like to shoot for 50 videos, but this was a truncated version, and I'm liking 25 as a baseline. Let's see if we can finish up this video.
Stuff, so it actually, because it's
They're creating AI industry plants. Velvet Sunday breakdown from the high epic times.
In that mainstream sense, right?
May I point out that the artwork and the font chosen looks exactly like a Tame Impala album cover.
Oh,
exactly like a fucking Tame Impala.
But here's the thing, because they're copying, at first glance, looks pretty sick.
It does look sick at first glance.
At first glance, and I think that's why AI is winning, right? And that's why people are way more down to fuck a sex doll that you could program than talk to a girl. Because talking to a girl is going to be weird. She's going to have like a pimple. Maybe she has bad breath. Maybe she's not going to... It's going to friction.
More friction.
Whereas this is close enough, right? This is close enough to have sex with a real woman.
Right.
And if you squint your eyes and at first glance, the album cover looks right. It sounds right.
They have a song called Mirrors.
So what are your thoughts on this culture commentary?
AI girlfriend's gonna feel
too
like.
real?
She's gonna be like, "Hey Shmuel, how was visiting the concert you went to last night with your friend's band? Was it a crazy fun lit night?" And you're like,
"Yeah, but eventually it's gonna get
good.
It'll get so good.
It'll
be
good.
better than us." It's very simple.
Okay, so if you're interested in checking out this podcast, check it out.
Because it's 2025 that it feels non-human, non-organic.
And it's gonna get there pretty quickly.
It's gonna get there really quickly.
And it's gonna get scary because we're losing our ability to tell. We're losing our grip on being able to discern what's
real versus generated.
Because we're disconnected from ourselves. We're no longer we're stripping the context and the soul. We're not connected to soul anymore. We're not connected to spirit. We're not living in alignment with any part of nature. We don't have connection to ourselves, right?
Spitting facts.
Able to watch horrific things happen on a large scale, and all we can do
So we're
is
gonna
add sugar and fucking
roll this back up. Again, if you're interested in finishing up this video, this from the high epic times. They're creating AI industry plants. Velvet Sundown breakdown. Okay, and then we have top music attorney. Spotify exposed AI band scam. Echoes through the pines. Okay, and then we're scrolling through some content, trying to figure out, are we good? Did we include everything? Wait.
Goofy band really seems to be AI, but that has stopped 400,000 of you from listening to them this month. The Velvet Sundown is goofy.
Hello, my friend. We need to talk about something.
Yes, you read that title correctly. Regards, Gabe Farrow, version.
Dust on the wind, wait back to fire. Gonna let this scroll for a little bit.
I can't believe I am covering an AI song.
So it finally happened. There is a band that is fully AI, that is putting out music, that is getting...
You know how people are telling you that folks aren't going to accept AI video, AI music? It has no soul.
To be frank, we should have started here with the
fair,
shorts.
I have been one of
This
those
is something
people.
I'm gonna learn from
But
future
today, I
entries.
just saw a band called the Velvet Sundown. The Velvet Sundown. They have 400. This
has been a rapidly developing story with some fun twists and turns, so I'll briefly recap what it
AI.
This band has over 1 million monthly Spotify listeners, and they might not even be real. Hi, my name is Thea. I talk about technology that is changing the world, and today we talk about AI musicians. This is Velvet Sundown, a band that was launched in...
Okay, a little bit more culture commentary. Let's see if we can add any
Das ist
stragglers.
kein Witz. Spotify pusht gerade eine Band, die gar nicht...
What? Foreign language content. Scrolling.
You ever heard of a band that sounds like it came from a dream you forgot? Now imagine that band never existed. That's the Velvet Sundown, and they're not human. In just 2 weeks, this so-called band dropped 2 full...
We're getting somewhere.
Music keeps changing, and some people can't handle that. First it was samples, loopers, synths.
Mysterious rock and roll band named the Velvet Sundown is gaining traction on...
Dust on the wind rolled up the fire. Dust on the wind rolled through the storm. Dust on the wind rolled through the fire. Dust on the clouds running back again. Okay, so we're almost finished.
Another AI story, but it's not about if the music is real or not, if the musicians are real or not. You can test it and find the differences between real music and AI generated, but there's another test that anyone can do. It's the emotional test. When you listen to that music, how does it make you feel? At the moment, AI generates music that is based on
Okay. So this is where we're at, closing down this playlist. What we just ended up going through was a YouTube search journey searching for content related to the Velvet Underground. We dipped into a lot of different areas and spurts and sparts, trying to accrete culture commentary surface area to learn just about what this piece of this is history in the making. which is why it went viral, and also why the spokespeople are saying, hey, what? Are we just going to sit here and let AI music cloud the real ability for music artists to get found? Hello? And in so doing, jumping back to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the AI music space, and to figure out where your opinions are at. Do you think that AI should just be able to create as much AI generated music as possible? Would you rather have AI music be placed in its own silo so that, and properly labeled, so that nobody can mistake whether or not it's AI generated content or not? Leave your thoughts in the comments. So right now we have the playlist that I made after going through various search terms. To be frank, I should have started here with going through under 4 minutes. Under 4 minutes this month by view count. That would have been legit. That and this month by view count regular, maybe over 20 minutes actually, but that's neither here nor there. This was from this month, and we got some early game stuff in terms of not just sorting it by view count, but also by upload date. So first we have AI made a #1 song and is confusing everyone. Let me see if should we increase the 175. Let's switch our sources. Okay, let's move this. Okay, let's scroll through this playlist. Okay, so as you see, this is a dynamic playlist sorted by date added oldest. This might change in the future. Date added oldest. So this was the original thought process of the manual structuring of how I sorted. We actually started with the high epic times, but I felt that David Harley was a stronger anchor to the beginning of this playlist from date added. And then from Jocelyn, AI music is taking over. This is scary. And then Matt Conarton, Unleashed, Velvet Sundown. That was really good technical grade culture commentary from IPM Nation. And then the high epic times, we were working through the video. We got about halfway through. And then Vietnam Echoes, the Velvet Sundown, honoring Vietnam veterans through musical artistry. So many meta layers deep that we had to add it. Italian dubbed Velvet Sundown, Italian dubbed culture commentary. Well, no, not dubbed, just captions. Green Wave Productions, they talk about AI music news, and they also include a track about the Velvet Sundown. Rick Benapo, Real AGI. That was technical grade culture commentary. So it begins. Is this a real AI band or AI? AI music generation has gone too far from Fantano. And then we have an AI cover from from Velvet Sundown. Or excuse me, AI cover from John Richards. And then from The Daily Show, a clip. And then we have another dubbed, 2 dubbed, Velvet Sundown Showdown from Mundo Your Entretenimiento. MUNDOURENTRENIENTO. Spelled that a little bit wrong in the middle. It was entretenimiento. Okay. To continue. And then Canal Daniela Zupo, Velvet Sundown case. Has AI already taken over Spotify? Again, an interesting episode. Where this was a music producer, industry insider, providing their thoughts. Again, dubbed. Matt Wolf, how I made an AI band go viral on Spotify. People don't know who created it, playing it into a little bit of culture commentary. Top music attorney, Spotify exposed AI band scam. This is scary. Title, thumbnail. AI band Velvet Sundown falls victim to identity theft. This was an interesting bit of culture commentary from Josh60. And then we have the Velvet Sundown echoes through the pines. So this was 17 videos in. I added their first video that showed up in most popular, or not the first video, but the one that spoke to me. Echoes through the pines. And then as we keep on going, we have miscellaneous culture commentary, and a spot riff for a cover, and then miscellaneous culture commentary, and then a video from the topic itself for the ones we couldn't keep, and then Let It Burn. And then culture commentary from Liffen. Taylor Swift speaks out against first AI band going viral, the Velvet Sundown. And then we dipped into culture commentary, some more culture commentary, and then we wrapped with shorts, culture commentary, Dust from Eli Best, Dust in the Wind, the Velvet Sundown, a cover. Yeah, a little bit of culture commentary there. Culture commentary, more culture commentary, and we ended with Bangers Only, the Velvet Sundown from 9 days ago. 318,000 views. And so that's where we're leaving things off in this playlist. I hope you've enjoyed this playlist creation journey. We're going to sort it by most popular and quickly scroll through just to give you a sense of what it looks like. This is sorted by most popular. Do a quick scroll so you can see titles and thumbnails. Titles and thumbnails. Titles and thumbnails. View counts. Okay. And we're also going to do date published oldest. Published 3 weeks ago. Scrolling. from date published oldest to newest. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave things off. We're going to leave this as a dynamic playlist, but we're going to anchor it on date published newest. All right. That's where we're going to leave things off until the next search journey. Again, if you like this type of content, then check out our YouTube channel As an Aggregator, where we sort through and consume some of the most interesting content on YouTube and make an attempt to rehypothecate it in playlists so that you can follow us on our consumption journey. Remember, the channel As an Aggregator is the content marketing outfit for Mr. Pollock and I Know. This is our original playlist archive channel. So you go to As an Aggregator to find the content that we're publishing about playlists, and then you go to Mr. Pollock and I Know for the playlists themselves. Check out Mr. Pollock and I Know. We have our ASAP Quick Pick. ASAP 16.1 is for Q3 July. I repeat, ASAP 16 is for Q3 and .1 is for July. So we have ASAP 16.1, a quick pick series, is now live. Check it out. These are videos that I've been consuming and watching as a reflection of my subscription box. Don't have time to scroll through it all. But again, if you have enjoyed this content and are looking for what to do next, you can always add this video into a playlist. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. So check out playlists for Mr. Pollock 890, and you can access our playlist curation network for the video and the content that we consume over time. Again, if you've enjoyed this, add one of these playlists to your library by clicking on the playlists and clicking this button right here that looks like a rectangle with an inverted triangle shape, to click Add to Library. This has been As an Aggregator.